Okay, so in order to finish this short new update of only 2 videos, let's start with video number 2. I can't believe it's 50 Silesian degree and oh my god, this is... Which command can you enter to determine the addresses that have been assigned to a DHCP server? If you have a router that you have enabled DHCP server inside it and it's giving IP addresses to multiple devices, how would you know the number and the devices that are making use of this router? Actually, by giving the command show IP DHCP binding, will show you the end devices that are bound to your pool and are taking IP addresses of your pool. So whenever you see binding, hit that command and you will see the result of that. Question 22, refer to the exhibit. The exhibit is enabling ARP inspection to a ton of VLANs, and this will cause all the interfaces assigned or accessed to those VLANs to become untrusted, except for the interfaces that you will trust them. So in this case, only the ARP inspection of fast Ethernet 00 is the only trusted interface here. Okay, so what will happen? Which type of devices must be connected to fast Ethernet 01? Okay, this is a switch that has multiple devices connected to multiple ports connected to multiple devices on multiple VLANs. Only one of them is trusted, so this guy will be allowed to perform ARP. That will be a router to perform the ARP resolution and assigning or binding MAC addresses to IP addresses. 23. What config on router 1 denies SSH from PC1 to an interface on R1? So this is the PC1, so this is the source that should be denied, this is the destination that should be denied, and the protocol that should be denied is SSH, or also known as TCP/22. Just in case you have watched chapter 5, then standard and extended access list have been verified and labbed there, and you will know what I mean. Okay, so let's say that creating an extended access list, definitely to deny, this is TCP, not TOP, this is TCP from the computer, correct, to anything, correct, to anything, yeah, to an interface, because this is the only router there, equals 22, and there permit any other thing, also correct. So head to interface gigabit Ethernet 00 and apply it as an in. This is the only correct thing that can, the only correct scenario that can be approved, which is A. The second one will be by applying the accesses to V2I. No, this should be applied to a physical interface. The third one will be denying telnet, TCP/23, not 22. The fourth will also be about telnet. So only A is the correct here. We cannot negotiate that. Okay. 24 says, which function does the range of private IP addresses perform? Everything. Okay, it allows multiple companies to use same addresses without conflict. Yes, that is correct. Provides the direct connections from outside. No, outside means public and NAT. Ensures that NAT is not required to reach the internet with private range addresses. Who will reach the internet with private addresses? This is a disaster. Enables secure communications to the internet. No, IPv4 will not be used for reaching the internet at all, so it's neither secured or unsecured communication. Which type of API would be used to allow authorized sales people, an employee in the sales department of an organization, to access to the internal database of their department from their mobile devices? This is something that should be private by using a private API that travels from the mobile phone of this guy. Why does this guy have a small screen? Is it an old phone? It should be a touch screen and a big phone with a screen to body ratio. This is 2020, and no note. No, I will not give a note here. Okay, let's compete. Okay, and this should be go through all the access points, switches, routers to the database that are in servers inside the company. So the APIs that will carry this layer 7 application informations will be a private API. not public, not open, not partnered. Okay, it will be a private API, and I believe in the CCNP Enterprise Core exam or course we will study the security of APIs. What are characteristics of REST-based APIs? Evolve to become into what becomes a SOAP? No. Used for exchanging XML structures information over HTTP JSON. You have studied chapter 7. Considered slow, complex, rigid? No, they are the best. Most widely used API for web services because it uses HTTP verbs like CRUD. Okay, so D will be correct. 27. Am I talking too fast? I'm sorry. What is the name of the layer in the Cisco borderless switch network design that is considered to be the backbone for high-speed connectivity and fault isolation? So in the Cisco world, when there are multiple devices and it's a borderless switch network, so it uses all the types of devices like routers, switches, multi-layer switches, which layer will be the high-speed connectivity? Core, because you have core, high-speed connectivity, and fast switching and distribution as well. And there is also the access layer with access switches. So those guys are not that fast, not the fault isolation. Those guys are all about taking and giving at the same time. This guy will be about isolation. We can even see that the aggregation or the distribution layer is not even mentioned here, unfortunately, so that leaves only the the core layer. Okay, 28 says an admin configures the following access list in order to prevent devices on this subnet from accessing this server. So we should deny source, this entire subnet, destination, this host IP address, and let's see where to apply that. So access list extended deny this entire network from accessing this host, correct, and permit any other thing. So the access list is definitely correct, nothing to modify there. But where should the admin place this access list for the most efficient use of network resources? So this is a tricky question and shows how skilled you are as an engineer, because I can see 2 routers using 4 interfaces, 2 per each router. So I can apply this access list on any port of those 4 and it will work, because I can apply it as inbound here, it will operate normally. I can apply it as outbound, also operate. I can apply it as inbound, will work correctly. I can apply it as outbound here, will also work correctly. So where? Just make it closer to the desired destination or to the desired thing to be filtered. If the packet passes inbound to this router, it can either go outbound this way, it can reach the loopback interface address here, it can go outbound from this interface to like only this interface or this loopback or something here. Multiple options. So like enabling filtering here and delaying the packet just for reading the sequences of the access list, and then it finds that, oh, yeah, it can be useful or not, and it will pass it anyway. This is not useful, neither here, neither here, but here only the packets that are really destined to this server will definitely pass through this outbound interface. So the best place to place this access list will be this port, because when you have other access lists in the future, you can put them either this interface or on this interface or on this one, not on this one definitely, because you can only assign 1 access list per interface, either inbound or outbound at the same time. Not 1 access list to the physical, 1 access list as inbound or outbound. Okay, so this will be the best to be assigned outbound to fast Ethernet 00 of router B. So router B, fast Ethernet 00 outbound will be the best design for applying this one. 929, which step in the link state routing process is described by a router sending a hello packet out of all OSPF enabled interfaces? Electing a designated router. No, Establishing neighbor adjacencies, yes. Injecting default route, no. Exchanging LSAs, no. Hello packets are for discovering neighbors, maintaining neighborship only. 30. R1 is configured with static NAT. Thank you. Addressing on the router and the web server are correctly configured, so I will not change this IP, the config here, neither the config here. Then, but there is no connectivity between the server and the internet. So what do we have? What is the lack? So this guy says that IP NAT inside, okay, in this router, the source will be static, correct. IP address 192.168.11.254. It should be this one, because we are planning to translate this IP, private IP address of a host. We will translate the IP address of a host to a public one, because this host is the one who wants to communicate outside. So we should translate 11.11 there, not the 11.254. Definitely not. So this is your problem. The public is correct, the private is incorrect. So the NAT config has an incorrect inside local address. You can see that. So it will be A for this question. 31. A company has decided to reduce its environment footprint. Just in case you were wondering what does footprint means, it does not mean the size of your tire of your vehicle. No, it means the amount of devices in your network. Reducing footprint, reducing the amount of devices. Thus you will have smaller network, you'll have less amount of devices. Smaller rooms are required for that. Smaller data centers and security requirements will be needed. By reducing energy costs as well. Energy costs mean supplying power to those devices. Definitely will be to smaller devices. Moving to a smaller facility. Okay. And promoting telecommuting. What service or technology would support this requirement? A Cisco ACI. This is some solution of automation in data center. Cloud services. Yes. Because just in case you have studied chapter 1 about cloud versus on-premise, then you will definitely know that cloud solutions is about having small number of a low number of devices in your network, or few devices in your network, and the other big major devices will be on cloud. Okay, so in the cloud, and you will control them online through telecommunication, through internet. So it will be cloud services. APKM is also a controller just like ACI and data center. I want to reduce the footprint, not to establish a new data center. So data center, it will not be data center, it will definitely be cloud services. 32. A company needs to interconnect several branch offices across metropolitan area. Okay, the network engineer is seeking a solution that provides high-speed converged traffic, including voice, video, data. A company also wants easy integration to their existing LAN, no adapting for new solutions or changing devices, just applying the new solution directly to their infrastructure. And which technology will be virtual satellite? Maybe, but it requires some modifications to the network. ISDN, no, old enough. Frame relay could be through the WAN. So there is WAN. So WAN includes frame relay. So I will choose WAN, the major solution. WAN, wide area networks, using BGP, MPLS, frame relay, DMVPN to interconnect multiple devices, multiple branches together through the internet, through the cloud, or the internet worldwide, safely without adding any new device to your network. The already enabled devices or supported, provided devices do support WAN by default. Okay, 33 says which two config would be used to create and apply a standard access list on R1 only, so that only this subnet will be allowed to reach the internal database. So this is the internal database. And this is R1. I need to create and apply an access list so that only 10.070 will be able to reach that. Okay, so interface gigabit Ethernet 00 on R1. IP access group 5 out. Okay, let me see the access list first. I will need an access list that permits this network and shut its mouth. No more config. No, this is not desired because this will permit only this in, like, I'm sorry, it will permit, oh, this is still permitting 10.054. I need to permit 10.070. This is incorrect. C mentions nothing about access list. D says that access list 50 permit 10.0. That is correct. Okay, so it will permit only this network. E will be permitting everything. No, we need to create an access list and apply it on an interface. So it will be either the interface of A or C. So A says on R1 on gigabit Ethernet 00, which is this one, applied as out. Correct. Or on R1 on interface serial 000, this one, apply it as in. Also correct. It will work. Out from this interface or in from this interface. It will work. Yes, it will work. Which one will you choose? I will choose the one nearer to the destination, so it will be gigabit Ethernet 00. So that if this network wanted to communicate with this network, it will do that freely without the delay or the question of the access list projecting or like standing in its way. So gigabit Ethernet 00 will be better. Which one? A. So A and D for question 33. Question 34. Which type of VPN uses a hub and spoke config to establish full mesh topology? A hub is a main router. Spokes are some branch routers that those guys, the 4 of them, are connected through the internet, through the cloud, and it will be this way, through from the main to the branches in this way, and those branches will communicate together through that hub. So they will send to the hub will answer to this one and to this one. This is called dynamic multi-point VPN, which is like establishing multiple VPN tunnels between between the hub and all the other spokes. So a tunnel from hub to spoke 1, a tunnel from hub to spoke 2, and to spoke 3 in this way. So GRI over IPsec is not for multiple spokes. DMVPN is for multiple spokes. MPLS VPN is a bit of complicated, is not facilitated in this way. No. IPsec virtual tunnel interface is like IPsec over, this will be IPsec over GRE, not GRE over IPsec, and it's neither correct, neither GRE over IPsec nor IPsec over GRE. It will be DMVPN. 35. What are 2 purposes of launching a Reconnaissance attack on a network? This is a security wireless question, a wireless security question. So let's see if we can make something here. To prevent other users from accessing the system, maybe. To escalate access privileges, no. To gather information about the network and devices, maybe. To scan for accessibility, to retrieve more and modify data. We need to bit of search more about these questions, about what Reconnaissance attack does, but for the time being we can consider C and D for question 35, because it's about like static gathering statistics about the network environment and the end devices to refer them to the network. 36. We have a broadcast OSPF network. If the switch reboots and other devices have to reestablish the adjacencies, which guy will become DR and BDR? Number 1, the highest priority. Okay, so this is priority 2, 1, higher than 1, and 1, 2, so different priorities. Okay, so this will be by taking a DR and a BDR, and they will be the guys with the higher priority. So I will choose this one and this one because they have a higher priority. So R1 and R3 will win, R2 and R4 will be excluded to become DR or BDR, but the question now is which one is exactly the DR and which one will become the BDR. Let's see if there is a router ID that is configured, and there is a router ID configured here, and there is a router ID that is configured here already. So which one will be the biggest? This one is the biggest, so this one will be a DR and this one will be a BDR. Okay, so this one will be designated router, R1 will be a backup designated router, so R3 will be designated, R1 will be backup. Okay, so that will be answer A for question 36. Okay, the switch 1 interface gigabit D01 is down means that it's down and the other side is also down. So I have a problem from my side. Which two configs are valid reasons to have this result? Maybe there is a duplex mismatch, might be. There is a speed mismatch. Speed mismatch will not cause a down. I don't believe so. There is a protocol mismatch. It will not cause a down. The interface is shut down. This like should be administratively down. Administratively down over down, not down over down. No. Error disabled, yes, will show it as down, and I believe also duplex mismatch will show the interface as down. You can do that like in a lab. We can go to one of the interfaces and make the interface duplex half and the other one is full and see the result of that. Okay, so that will be A and E. 38. In which two ways does a password manager reduce the chance of a hacker stealing the passwords? Okay, password manager means like there is a server or an application that is controlling the security of your network. So that will be, it automatically provides a second authentication password factor that is unknown to the original user. Okay, so this is a second authentication, not a first one. No. It uses an internal firewall to protect the password repository from unauthorized accesses, maybe. It protects against keystroke logging on a compromised devices or website. I'm not sure about that. It stores the password repository on the local workstation with built-in antivirus and anti-malware functionality, could be. It encourages users to create stronger passwords. It will be stolen. It's about stolen, not guessed. Stolen. So it will be stolen. Okay, so I will take D and B for this question, but I'm not really expert in security, so if you have other opinions, please let me know. 39. What is the primary purpose of FHRP? We know about that. We have labbed that. Okay. It allows directly connected neighbors to share configuration information. No. It allows a router to use bridge priorities to create multi-loop free path to single destination. No. Routers are already almost loop free, depending on the mechanism of loop preventions of the protocol. It reduces routing failures by allowing layer 3 load balancing between. FHRP does not support load balancing by default, only GLBP does that. It reduces routing failure by allowing more than one router to represent itself as a default gateway. Yes, it's more than one router. FHRP includes HSRP, VRRP, and GLBP. In HSRP and VRRP, you have more than one router, one main, one backup. In GLBP, you also have more than one router, one main, 3 backups, or 4 active mains at the same time. So D is definitely correct regarding 39, and the others are wrong. Okay, D and D. Let's see. Question 40 will be who is access, who is distribution, and who is core. Provides high-speed backbone connectivity. We have discussed that. This is core. Implements personal firewalls on the client computers. A firewall. Provides network access to the user, the access, that is clear. Implement network access policy, the access guy as well. Represents the network edge, will be the core. establishes layer 3 routing boundaries between layer 2 and layer 3 will be the distribution layer, and functions as an aggregator, the aggregation layer, which is the aggregator, which is also known as distribution layer. Okay, so in some networks you might see that the access layer is called the edge, in other networks the core. In this question I will pick core because core is also considered as your edge facing the ISP. Okay, so I hope that this was clear for you, and I hope that you are convinced with that. Those are my answers. Please, one note before I finish this video, just in case you found that some answers are mismatched or mistyped in the PDF file, mismatched to the answers that I give in the video, then the answers that I give in the video are the answers that I am convinced with. Unless you have other opinion, then we can discuss that. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope that everything was beneficial for you and useful and good enough, and I hope to see you certified as soon as possible. Thanks again and goodbye.